Right, welcome everyone. So this is the lecture on 7.1, solving linear equations. Okay, so we'll begin with some general definitions and then I'll show you how to solve linear equations, and then we'll do a little bit of converting formulas. Okay, so let's start with those definitions I mentioned. So the first one is algebraic expression. Algebraic expression. And mostly I just want to show you what the difference between an expression and equation is. Okay, so expression is basically a statement. Built from some constants, variables, and operations. Okay, so something like this, right? So 3x minus 7 plus x squared minus x. So this would be an expression, right? So you guys see that there's no equal sign, right? 9x plus 9. Square root of y minus 4. Okay, another one I have x to the 5th, y to the 8th power divided by x to the 5th. And the last one looks like this, so 1 plus x divided by x. Okay, so they cannot be solved, right? Because there is no equal sign. We can't solve for x or any other variable, but we can simplify them. But not solved. Okay, so let's simplify a couple of those. For example, the first one, right? So 3x minus 7 plus x squared minus x. Okay, so if we simplify it, right, we can combine these two like terms, and we will get, let's put that 2x in the front, maybe, minus 7 plus x squared. Okay, this one can also be simplified. Okay, so let's simplify it. So I have x to the 5th, y to the 8th, divided by x to the 5th. So the same variables or the same expressions, as long as they're multiplied or their factors, right, can be simplified. So x to the 5th and x to the 5th, and this is just x, y to the 8th. But some people would say that this can also be simplified, right? But unfortunately we cannot. So 1 plus x over x, right? So some people would cancel this and that, but we of course cannot do it, right? Because that x here is not a factor. We can also only simplify factors. All right, so that was algebraic expression. Let's look at an equation. So it's a statement that two expressions are equal. Okay, and here we're talking about linear equations. So those have only one variable. and some numbers. Okay, so let's look at a couple of those. So 2x plus 5 equals 10. And maybe something like this. X minus 3 equals 5. Okay, so, sorry about that. So these can be solved, and we can find x, and the solution is simply, in this case, a number, right? That when we put it into the back into the original equation, it would give us a true statement. So let's write it down. So solution, or solution set, is a number that makes the equation true. Or statement. Okay, well, what is the number in the first case? Okay, in this case, the solution would be 8, right? And here, this will be what? 2.5? Right, and if I take that 8, right, and I plug it back in here, I get something that is true, right? So I would get 8 minus 3 equals 5, right? So 5 equals 5. And here I would get 2 times 2.5 plus 5 needs to be 10. And it is, and it is. Okay? Several simple, well, maybe not so simple, couple examples. So example 1. We need to solve, right? And I'm not going to give you examples of this, like really simple stuff like this. Right? So we'll start with an example where you actually have to multiply first and then combine like terms. Then we'll do a couple, maybe one with fractions and one with decimals. Anyway, so to solve it, right, I need to somehow clean it up, right? Make it in such a way that I have x's on one side and constants on the other side. So I start with distributing that to both terms in the parentheses, right? So I get 2x minus 10 plus 3x equals x plus 6. Yeah, when you're multiplying this, you're multiplying 2 times negative 5, right? And then I just put negative 10 here. Alright, so let's clean it up. So, as I said, x is on one side, right? And constants on the other side. So 2x, let's just move them around. So I'll have 2x plus 3x, and then I have minus x, right? It came from here, I subtracted x. And here I added the 10, so I will have 10 here, because I'm adding the 10 to both sides, right? You know that. Plus 6. Now I combine like terms, so I get 2x plus 3x, 4x equals 16. Okay, so divide by 4, and I get x equals 4. Okay, we can check it. So I would take that 4 and put it in every x that I see in the original equation. Alright, so I have 2 times 4 minus 5 plus 3 times 4 equals 4 plus 6. Okay, so when I add it all up, when I do my arithmetic, I should get a true statement, 10 equals 10. Okay, so let's see if we get it. So you can distribute that 2 first, but let's do parentheses first. So 4 minus 5 is negative 1 times 2 is negative 2 plus 12 equals 10. So this is 12, right? So yeah, 12 minus 2, I get 10, and that equals 10. Okay, so we checked it, it works, that x equals 4 is a solution. Okay, let's look at example 2. So example 2, we also need to solve the equation. It looks like this: x plus 7 over 6 plus 2x minus 8 over 2 equals negative 4. Okay, so we have two fractions here, and to get rid of the fractions, we simply multiply by the greatest common factor, okay, or greatest common denominator. We could change this denominator to 6, right? So I would multiply that by 3, and also the top by 3. We could do that, or just simply multiply everything by 6. Let's do let's choose the second option. So I multiply left side, right, everything on the left side by 6, and everything on the right side by 6. Okay, so I get, let me just do it slowly. So I will have 6 times x plus 7 over 6, and somehow plus 6 times 2x minus 8 over 2 equals negative 24. Okay, so the reason I multiplied by 6 is that when I multiply the first fraction, right, these two numbers cancel out, right? So that this factor, the 6, cancels the denominator in the first fraction. So I get x plus 7, right? And then I have the second fraction, and here, right, I'm multiplying 6 by this fraction. The 2 will cancel, will disappear, and I'll have 3 left here. Okay, so it's going to be 3, and I need to multiply the 3 by the whole numerator, right? Minus 8 equals negative 24. Okay, so now we just finish it the same way as we did in the first example. So x plus 7 plus 6x minus 24 equals negative 24. Okay, so we have the same numbers on both sides, so we can simply cancel them, or you can, right, add 24 to both sides, and I have something like this. So I have x and 6x, so it's going to be 7x. Move that 7 to the other side, so negative 7 divided by 7 divided by 7. Okay, we could also check it, so you guys can check it if you want, but I'm not gonna do that. Okay, I'll show you one more example. Okay, so example 3. And this is a problem with decimals. Looks like 0.06x plus 900ths 15 minus x equals 0.07 times 15. Okay, so in this case, right, we could just use a calculator and multiply this out, and then multiply this out, and we would be able to solve it with using a calculator. But what we can do, we can rewrite these decimals as fractions. So this one will be 600ths of x plus 900ths times 15 minus x and 700ths. And here we can see that all the terms in the equation have a fraction where denominator is 100. Right? So we can simply multiply both sides of the equation by 100, and all those fractions or decimals will turn into integers, right? So if I do that, let me just rewrite it. So 100 times 6 over 100 x plus 100 times 9 over 100 15 minus x. I'm just going to put this 100 in the front. 7 over 100 times 15. Okay, so now I can cancel all those hundreds. And what I have left is 6x plus 9 times 15 minus x equals 7 times 15. Okay, so now I need to distribute that 9 to both. So 6x plus 9 times 15, 135 minus 9x equals 7 times 15, 105. Okay, so we'll clean it up. So 6x minus 9x is negative 3x. And I subtract 135 from both sides, and I get negative 30 on this side. Okay, divided by negative 3, and I get x equals 10. Okay. Alright, so now I'll give you a couple of problems for you to practice. And the way I hope it's going to work is that you guys pause the video, solve the problems, and then check the answers. Okay? Okay, so the first problem is 8 minus 8x is negative 16. We're also solving them all for x. The second is 2x plus 4 minus x was 4x minus 5. Okay, 2x plus 3 times x minus 4 equals 2 times x minus 3. Problem number 4. This one has some fractions. So let me write it like this actually. So 3/4, and then x is after the fraction, right, plus 5/2x equals 13, number 5. And this time let me write it differently. Well, yeah. So x minus 8/5 plus 8/5 equals negative x/3. And the last problem. Okay, 0.08 x plus 0.12 times 260 minus x equals 0.48 x. Okay, yeah, so now pause the video, do the problems, solve the problems, and come back. Alright, so these are the answers. So first one is 3, and then 3 again, and then 2, and then I believe this is 1, and then 0, and 60. Okay. Yeah, let me, I'm not sure if this doesn't look like this is the solution. Let me do this problem. Let's go over this problem. So problem number 4. Okay, I know it's the time. I try to keep the lectures around 20 minutes, but let me do this quickly. So I have 3/4 x plus 5/2x equals 13. Okay, so get rid of the fractions, so we multiply everything by 4 times 4 times 4. So I get 3x plus, now I have, let me just do it like this, 4 times 5/2x equals 13 times 4, 52. Okay, so I have 3x plus, so this will be 10x equals 52. Okay, so 13x equals 52. So divided by 13, and we get 4. Okay, so that's actually 4, not 1. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we'll continue in the next lecture, right? It's still going to be 7.1.